Hello, welcome to Cat Mama Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I am doing a weekly sign-based reading. This is the week of May 11th. And I'm going to be starting with Virgo because in the chart of the moment, Virgo is the rising sign. So I thought change things up and start with Virgo. So we'll start at Virgo and go all the way through Leo. Timestamps are below so you can watch any or all of the readings at whatever you choose to do. You can watch for your sun, moon, rising, for different placements in your chart, for loved ones, all of the above. Do whatever you're called to do. Let's see, am I forgetting anything? I don't think so. Oh, I'm going to do something similar to last week, except just using different cards this week, different oracle decks and different tarot decks. So let's just go ahead and dive in, shall we? All right, starting with Virgo. What messages do we have for Virgo this week? What animal has a message for Virgo this week, please? Well, I'm just going to pick one. Try to keep things concise, focused. Maybe that's a message for you, Virgo. Okay, we've got Loon, intuitive. Listen to the song in your soul. Trust your intuition as you have a way of knowing. Emerge from the busy life and seek more solitude. Recognize that you are unique and that you are loved. Okay, so a week to tap into your intuition. It's interesting that it talks about seeking more solitude because the Hermit is the Virgo card, and that is kind of about going into solitude, seeking solitude for kind of personal insights. It'll be interesting to see if the Hermit makes an appearance or if it's just kind of coming through your animal message here. Let's see what else we've got for you. What tarot messages do we have for our Virgos this week, please? All right, we've got the Four of Pentacles, or the Four of Discs in this deck, the Prince of Swords, which is the Knight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords. And I apologize, this deck is a little worse for wear. I love it though, so I'm just keeping this one, even though it's I've got it wet. So some of the cards have a little bit of they got stuck together and some of the actual imagery got pulled off. But anyway, I don't know if there's any message in there for you about that, Virgo. Maybe like things don't have to be perfect, right? Yeah. Anyway, okay, as a Virgo moon, I can relate to the perfectionism seeking. All right, let's get going here. So we start with the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles is really kind of the first message I'm getting here is about the importance of letting go and trusting in, you see the moth kind of appearing here in the backdrop. So it's like embracing this time of transformation and change. And in order to like fully realize the transformation, right, we only see, excuse me, part of the moth. In order to fully embrace that transformation, there's a need to let go. And, the Four of Pentacles can speak to kind of letting go of control, of even thinking that you're in control of control in this thing we call life, and kind of surrendering to the flow. I keep wondering if there's additional messages in here. This is the third or fourth time I've started this reading, so you've gotten some other cards, Virgo, and now I'm choking. Good Lord. Okay, let's keep going. I'm going to push through here. So there's a need to let go. It could also be to let go of perfection, any kind of striving towards perfection, because perfection is kind of a fallacy, right? There really is nothing, everything is perfect in its imperfection if we really think about it. So And also, you know, it can speak to kind of gripping, like my throat is doing right now. So I don't know if there's something going on with your throat chakra, Virgos, and your ability, or kind of maybe you're feeling like it's hard to kind of get out, get something out, articulate something, speak your truth, speak your mind. You know, maybe you're trying to kind of control yourself, control a situation, trying to keep the peace, and in so doing, you're kind of holding your tongue and not speaking up. So maybe there's a need to let go of any constriction or restriction on your voice. Next, we've got the Knight of Swords, which is interesting following that Four of Pentacles, especially what I was just saying, because the Knight of Swords is ready to go. The Knight of Swords is the fastest knight in the deck, and as a result, they can, you know, err on the side of being a little too impulsive, being a little too quick, being a little too sharp. So those are just some things to be wary of. But the Knight of Swords is quick and you know, fast, because they are determined to move in a particular direction. So there is a sense of like having a particular goal in mind and having a particular direction that you want to be going, and a desire to move quickly. And then we've got the Eight of Swords, which kind of harkens back to what I was saying with the Four of Pentacles, in the sense that the Eight of Swords is kind of self-imposed limitations. And this image is so interesting because, you know, this person has the ability to rise up, and yet they are somehow holding themselves down, right? They're kind of attached. They're attaching themselves to all of these swords. And swords represent the mind, communication, information, technology. So this person has the ability to free themselves, right? But they don't see that right now. So if you're feeling stuck or trapped, or kind of in a position where you're feeling restricted, you're gripping, and you're kind of wanting to be free and kind of set yourself free, you can do that. You have the ability to do that, because ultimately the sense of stuckness, the sense of feeling trapped, the sense of, you know, needing to hold on too tightly is actually in your control. We also have the Princess of Swords at the bottom of the deck, and this is the Page of Swords. And so maybe it's about doing a little bit of research, gathering some information, putting yourself in kind of a learning mode in order to be able to get the information you need that's going to help you and enable you to free yourself. Also, tapping into your intuition is key, right? Trusting yourself, trusting in what you know to be true. And, you know, you may need to kind of take a break, take some quiet time, seek some solitude in order to kind of tap into that intuition and that inner wisdom. All right, let's see what your number is this week. And I'm going to read this one. What number do we have for Virgo this week? Number 2, cooperation. And there's a bunch of kitty cats. Yeah. Maybe your kitty cats will provide some comfort if you have kitties. Or maybe somebody else's kitty cats if you don't have your own kitties. Okay, let's see what it says here. All right, this is the card of duality. Drawing this card indicates that now is not an independent time for you. This card tells you that this is a time to listen and cooperate. You are being advised to follow your own intuition, listen to the concerns of others, and be sure to use tact and diplomacy. That is reminding me of this Knight of Swords, who sometimes forgets to use tact and diplomacy. So it's another confirmation of that. Drawing this card also indicates that you are looked upon for answers that will lead to a peaceful outcome, and that you have now become the mediator and the light bearer. This is not a time for discord. Keep your positive purpose before you. This number vibrates to gold. It is believed to be the only color impenetrable to the lower energy forces. Ooh. To attract the desired energy so that you might help those in need, wear a piece of deep yellow clothing, suggesting gold, or perhaps a scarf, tie, or pocket handkerchief with that color in it. You could also wear some gold or gold-colored jewelry. Okay, Virgo, so 2 is your number this week. It's a number to focus on in terms of kind of trying to focus on cooperation and how you can work with others, as well as tap into your intuition, as the Loon said. And I love that we've got in the Loon card, we have this kind of gold color here in the reeds. So that's beautiful. And if you see a 2 this week, or anytime you see a 2 this week, it's a reminder to, of this reading, but also to be in a state of cooperation, right? All right, that's what I've got for you, Virgo. I hope that was helpful. I hope you have a fantastic week. All righty. Okay, Libra. How are we doing, Libras? Let's see what animal has a message for Libras this week. Peacock. Vibrancy. Beautiful. There's some more gold. If wherever Virgo, you have Virgo in your chart, that might be relevant for you. Okay, Peacock. Vibrancy. You were born to shine and inspire. Practice humility to avoid jealousy. Be grateful for life, and more good things will come. Be true to yourself and recognize your brilliance. Oh, yeah. All right. I like that. We're going to use this deck for Libras. Oh, okay. We already got one. Ooh, the 10 of Cups. Great start, Libras. We've also got the 8 of Pentacles. And the Moon, with the Page of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. All right, so we start with the beautiful 10 of Cups, emotional fulfillment. And, the key this week when we look at the Peacock is really to tap into a place of gratitude and shine your light. Because this week you have an opportunity to step into emotional fulfillment. There's some work required. The 8 of Cups, that's interesting. So I don't think anything is really a mistake. So perhaps the 8 of Cups is just a side message that there's something that you need to let go of, Libras. But the 8 of Pentacles is all about putting in the work, putting in the dedication and the devotion to something that you really care about and really want to commit to and want to build. That's going to bring you emotional fulfillment. And I think that you're feeling grateful for, and that also is something that to share with others, given that you're being encouraged by the Peacock to shine your light, right? So this may be collaborating with others, it may be sharing something with others, but whatever resonates for you. The last card here we have is the, is the Moon. And the Moon really speaks to, well, it can speak to a lot of things. And actually, what I'm getting here is that it definitely speaks to unknowns, things that like having kind of a path before you that may not be totally clear. But what I'm really getting here is the need to go with the flow and tap into your intuition, because that's another message of the moon, as well as to really be true to who you are. Normally, and we don't in this deck, interestingly, even though this is the message I'm getting, normally, particularly in the traditional Rider-Waite, we've got two different animals. We've got a wolf and we've got a dog. So we've got kind of the wild version and the domesticated version of a similar animal. And the meaning behind that is the notion of choosing between loyalty and authenticity. So I think what you're being called here to do, Libra, is to tap into your intuition and really allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to choose you and choose the authentic version of yourself. And that is the version of you to shine, right? That is what you want to shine through, is your true self. And by doing so, it's going to enable you to find a place of, or a state of emotional fulfillment, and it's going to just fuel this work that you're doing on some kind of project that means a lot to you and that you want to commit to and devote time and energy and resources to. And you're really, by doing all of this, or this is all evidenced by following your heart, which is part of the message of the Page of Cups, although I was just thinking the Knight of Cups. But then the Page of Cups is also about believing in yourself and believing that anything is possible. So really boosting yourself up. You might want to do some mirror work, where you look in the mirror and you say positive affirmations to yourself. But also the Page of Cups is really encouraging you to tap into your imagination, your dreams. What is it that you really want in this life? That's really important to be focusing on this week. Let's see what number we have for our Libras. There we go. All right. I was like, is that really 69 Libras? Woohoo, okay. That's interesting. Lotus with fish. All right, well, that's definitely reminding me of Pisces and emotions, getting into your emotions. Let's see what the book says. Let's see if I can find this card. Okay, this is an abundance card, 74. All right. Be proactive is the message. The lotus is a symbol of being able to rise from the murky waters of life into something beautiful. Ooh, I love it. It's kind of represented here. Now I'm going to lose the page because I got too excited about that. Sorry, Libras. Okay, here we are. We're back. The lotus is said to symbolize purity and rebirth. Chinese philosopher Confucius was known to say, while growing in mud, the lotus remains unstained. A person's pathway in life can be likened to that of a lotus. Lotus with fish is said to be more propitious. I'm not familiar with that word. Propitious. Propitious. I'm going to have to look that up. Drawing this card, I wonder if you may be stumbling on your words a little bit this week, Libra, like I am doing during your reading. Drawing this card suggests financial abundance, either by way of working hard for your money, Eight of Pentacles, or through an inheritance. Interesting, the 8th house in our charts is about inheritance, and this is an 8 in your reading. It is kindly suggested that you don't bide your time waiting for opportunities, but work diligently. Definitely the message of the 8 of Pentacles. Hopefully loving what you do and keeping busy. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes looking at certain situations in life can be likened to standing on a hilltop, surveying everything below and to the horizon, in that it puts things in perspective and always helps us to see things more openly and clearly. To gain help if needed, wear the colors cream, orange, red, or purple. If you were born on an 11-day or a 22-day, there's the possibility that energies drawn from this card could be doubled. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So if you see 69 this week, or I'm not going to say it. You know what I'm thinking. Anyway, take this as your reminder to see yourself as that lotus, right? And put that hard work in, but also recognize that, you know, beauty, it kind of reminds me of that toadstool card that I can't remember which sign got in the weekend reading, but kind of the beauty of transformation, right? It doesn't always look beautiful, but ultimately it is beautiful, and it's a beautiful process and results in beautiful outcomes. So let the numbers 6 and 9 be a reminder of that for you this week, Libras. All right, that's what I've got for you. Hope you have a great week. All right, Scorpios. How are you doing, Scorpios? Let's see what animals have a message for you, or animal, excuse me, has a message for you this week. What animal has a message for our Scorpios this week, please? Ooh. Wolf, Pathfinder. Release your past and start a new journey. You are a teacher and help others find their way. There will be challenges, but your soul is strong. Perseverance is your secret power. You have a love that endures. That's beautiful. Okay, let's see what tarot cards we have for you, Scorpio. I've already shuffled these, but for some reason I'm feeling called to shuffle them again. All right, let's see what tarot messages we have for our Scorpios. Almost, but not quite. Okay, there's our first one. 7 of Swords, the Fool, and Death. Interesting. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Star. Wow. All right. 3 out of 4 of these are majors. So kind of a big time right now for you, Scorpio. It's very interesting because what I'm getting here with the 7 of Swords looking back at the Fool, or looking at the Fool, it's kind of, well, the message that I'm getting is, how can you do things differently? How can you do things in a new and different way, using strategy, being tactical, such that it contributes to a positive new beginning, a positive new chapter, the kind of new chapter, new phase, new beginning that you want to create in your life. Because that's where you are. You are at a time of new beginnings, endings and new beginnings. I don't know why I keep saying new. Endings and beginnings, right? You've got the Death card here, which is all about closing out one chapter in order to start a new chapter. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward here. So, and you've got the wolf reminding you to release your past. You're starting on a new journey. In this new path, you're going to be guiding people, leading the way. You're going to face some challenges, as we always do, right? There are always going to be some challenges, especially when you're on a brand new path and you've never been on this path before. So it's important to persevere. Don't let any kind of challenges knock you off your path or throw you off your path. Just really make sure that you are holding on to your faith, keeping that North Star of whatever it is that you're going for, your dreams, your passions, in sight, in your line of vision, and keep the faith really in whatever it is that you're trying to do with your life right now. The star also speaks to healing. So potentially you are, as you're closing out a chapter and starting a new one, that might involve some healing as well. Yeah, and I just want to reiterate the last line of the Wolf card that says, you have a love that endures. So, that's making me think of the importance of really loving ourselves through any kind of changes we're going through. So it's really important to have that enduring love, not only for others, but for yourself, Scorpio. Shower yourself with love. Okay, let's see what number we've got for Scorpio this week. Ooh, master number. Oh, how cool. 33, the teacher. All right. And look at I love this, how the cards, the number cards and the animal cards, this is the second time they've kind of reflected similar colors. And I love the octopus. All right. Ooh, I'll get that in a second. Okay, so let me take a look at the book. Yeah, so you definitely, this is the second card saying that you are going to be in a teaching role, right? You're going to be guiding others in this new beginning. And I turned right to it. Love that. Okay, Scorpio, let's read this for you here. Right now, you have the opportunity to be the teacher. Do not doubt yourself. There is strong, positive, and unusual energy around you, giving you the courage to not doubt. Drawing this card tells you the world is not perfect. People are not perfect. So do your best not to be upset by their actions. Seek to understand that instead of looking for perfection, life will have more meaning when you realize what is needed from you is to give a message and feeling of inspiration in your everyday conversation when speaking with someone. If there is a goal in your sight, be sure to make your way by working the necessary steps to reach that goal. Take your time, because if you hurry, mistakes will be made and is not your Take your time, because if you hurry, mistakes will be made and is not your aim. Okay, whatever. That's kind of a weird sentence. The card, I feel like they made a mistake in that sentence. That's funny. This card is urging you to have faith in yourself. Exactly. That's definitely what the star portends. And now I've lost the freaking page. Oh, no, went right back to it. This number vibrates to orange, scarlet, and heliotrope, a pink purplish color, showing power and love for humanity. It would be helpful at this time to wear one or more of these colors in a garment, scarf, tie, or pocket handkerchief if you're so inclined. Love it! Well, that's what I've got for you, Scorpio. I hope that was helpful. Have a great week. Sagittarius. How you doing, Saggies? Let's see what animal has a message for you this week. These cards are so big, and my paws are little. They overwhelm my little paws. I don't know why I'm talking like that. I am in the South, but I'm not of the South. So I don't have that accent normally. I'm sure it wasn't anything near authentic either. Anyway, I don't know why I'm rambling on. Let's see what Anna wants a message for you, Sagittarius. Oh, beautiful. We've got hummingbird miracles. You are the joy bringer. You bless the world with positivity and love. Energy soars on your shining wings. Spread the miracle of happiness. Oh, that is beautiful. All right, Sagittarius, you're tasked with spreading some joy this week. I don't think that should be too hard for you based on the Saggies I know. All right, let's see what tarot messages we have. Okay, we've got, speaking of happiness and joy, we've got the sun, we've got strength, beautiful. And the Prince of Discs, which is the Knight of Discs. Oh, and at the bottom of the deck, we've got the Hanged Man. Wow, I think people are getting a lot of majors this week here. Okay, so as I said, we start with the sun. And apologies if you didn't hear, these cards are a little worse for wear because they got wet. So some of them kind of peeled off as I was saving them. So we've got the sun here, which is all about joy, happiness, protection, fulfillment, shining your light, seeing, I'm with the eyes here, I'm just like seeing the world in a new way and from a place of joy and happiness. And I feel like I'm just hearing kind of that you're really seeing people, right? People are going to be felt, what am I trying to say? People will feel seen by you is what I'm getting here. Yeah, you're really seeing people as they are and meeting them where they are and spreading that joy this week. I love that, shining your light. And, I think that comes from a place of confidence and strength. And the strength card is really about self-awareness. The words know thyself come to mind when I see the strength card. And if you're able to really be in this place of the sun, shining your light, seeing people for who they are and spreading joy and happiness, as the hummingbird alludes to, it seems like you are really in a place of a solid place with regard to yourself. Wow, that got really blurry. Even though things may seem blurry at times, you really are in a place of strength and knowing yourself. With the Prince of Discs or the Knight of Discs, you're being encouraged to take your time. Right now is a time of kind of planting seeds and tending to those seeds. And so time is going to be involved in kind of getting to the goalpost, whatever that is for you. But because of the time that you're going to be taking to do things well and do things in the way that's going to really cultivate what it is that you want, right? It's going to lead to success. So that is the message of the Knight of, not Swords, Knight of Pentacles or Discs. And, the alternate message or kind of a little side message, because I said the Knight of Swords, is to really have patience and not get too impulsive, not try to do things too fast, because by doing things in the time that they need, taking the time that things need to get done, you're gonna cultivate even more of what you want. The result or the outcome is gonna be even more of what you want, right? And it's gonna be long lasting, sustainable. And so if you're somebody who tends to move quickly, who tends to kind of make things happen quickly, the Hanged Man here is calling you to take a new perspective and recognize that it would behoove you to take some time here, to take the time needed and to not be in too much of a rush. So with the Hangman here, I think you are gaining that insight. You are like maybe you've been kind of in a moment of pause, and this moment of pause, kind of taking a break from something, kind of stepping out of something, is going to help you gain this new insight about how to move forward in the best way possible. Ooh, I like that, Saggies. Okay, let's see what number we've got for you this week. Okay. 63. Aha! Money tree. Ooh, that's nice. Okay, let's see what the book says for you. 63 money tree. This is another abundance card. Okay. Midas touch. Ooh, that's interesting. You don't have the King of Pentacles in here, which often makes me think of the Midas touch, having the Midas touch. But you do have the Prince of Pentacles, who is evolving into the King of Pentacles. The Feng Shui money tree is used as a symbol to attract wealth and prosperity, and the plant most often used to represent this is the succulent jade. Once you have chosen your plant, there are many ways to place it. One of the simplest methods is to stand at either side of the outside of your front door. Make sure your front door is clear and the entrance is not blocked. Drawing this card suggests that in most cases you have the ability to attract money effortlessly. However, it might slip through your fingers just as effortlessly if you fail to be disciplined in your spending. Okay, so that could kind of be speaking to one of the messages of the Knight of Pentacles here, is to be disciplined with your money. It often leaves us with a feel-good feeling when we buy gifts for others, but we must first make sure we can financially afford to do this before we part with our money. Right, and so what I'm hearing right now is just, by bringing joy, you can do that without spending any money. I'm sure you know that, but just a little reminder. But wait, perhaps you have what is called the Midas touch, and you know how to earn money, and importantly, you know how to save it, and also when to spend it. If you feel that you need a little help, try wearing the colors orange, red, or gold, or alternatively, try a pastel shade. Ooh, okay. All right, that is what I have for you, Saggies. I hope you have a great week. I hope that was helpful. Capricorns, you are next. How are we doing, Cappies? Let's see what animal messages, or what animal has a message for you. That seems to be it. Dragonfly, magic. Beautiful. I embrace my transformation. I courageously let go of the past. The magic of nature is in me. I am brilliant and I am blessed. Beautiful. Something I've been forgetting to say, although some of the animals you might not see around, but I'm remembering now for you, Cappies, to, keep an eye out for dragonflies as a reminder of your magic, right? As a reminder to let go of the past. And just as a reminder of your brilliance and your blessedness. Let's see what tarot we've got for you. Actually, no, I'm feeling this one. What tarot messages do we have for our Cappies this week? No, it's too many. Okay, we've got Justice. We've got the Five of Cups. And the Four of Wands with the Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so very important this week, Cappies, to recognize how justice works. And what I mean by that is justice is all about cause and effect. It's also about balance, and I'm also noticing, the sword of truth that the person is holding up. And so kind of balancing out, truth, what you know to be true with the reality of the situation. And when I say cause and effect, it's like the law of attraction, really. It's like, what kind of reality do you want to experience? Because what you have in your mind, what you have in your heart, kind of what's going on inside you is going to be reflected in your reality. So it's really important to pay attention to this and to think about what kind of reality you want to be experiencing, and therefore be thinking about or be tuned in to kind of what kind of thoughts you're having, what's going on inside you, and how you can, if needed, shift that to align with the kind of reality you want. And that's very much in keeping with the Five of Cups, right? So here we have two different options as an example, right? We have one perspective looking at the fallen cups and the lost wine, and getting caught up in our emotions and focusing on the disappointments, focusing on the betrayals, focusing on what didn't work, focusing on heartbreak, right? Or we can turn around and focus on what there is to be grateful for, what love we have in our lives, including what things we love that we have in our lives. We can focus on crossing that bridge and moving into a new place that might be exciting, right? Thinking of like one of my favorite cities to visit is New York City. There's just so much happening, so much excitement, so much there to experience, right? That is, you have the opportunity to have so many different kinds of experiences. Of course, you could have negative experiences too. But my point being that the Justice card with the Five of Cups here is encouraging you to focus on creating an experience within your mind, your psyche, your emotions, your heart, that is in alignment with what you want to experience. And love is the key to that, starting with loving ourselves and loving all of ourselves. Unconditional love and acceptance for ourselves, taking care of ourselves, filling our cup, also recognizing our self-worth. All of these things are going to help us be in the place internally that's in alignment with a place we want to create externally or experience externally. And that is reflected here in the Four of Wands. This is the portal, the 1111 card, right? This is the card of commitment, of celebration, right? And there's that city, right? It's like, like I'm thinking like the city on the hill, right? You've kind of reached the entryway, the portal to this exciting new place that is the kind of reality you want to commit to, you want to experience, and that you want to have. And you're being encouraged to follow your inspiration, right? To grab that wand and run with it, right? And move towards what it is that you're being offered, right? If it's a new opportunity that excites you, or if it's a passion or some kind of something creative that you're being pulled towards or excited by, you're being encouraged to go for it. All right, let's see what number we have for you, Cappy. What's the number for Capricorn this week? All right, here we go. Ooh, number 13. Intuition. Very cool. Sorry, I'm just kind of hypnotized by the colors. I love the blue and the green. The blues and the greens. Yeah, which, you know, it might be helpful to go into nature as a means for tapping into your intuition. 13 breaks down to a 4, which is all about stability, creating stability for yourself. Let's see here. So this is a karmic card. All right, let's read what we've got here for our Cappies. Throughout many parts of the world, the number 13 is often viewed as a bad omen, owing to the fact there were 13 seated at the table at the Last Supper. Others view 13 as extremely propitious. There's that word again. This came up in another reading and I haven't looked it up yet. Ooh, and I just realized there's a card on the floor. You have chosen this card because you are being asked to use the energy of the number 13 in the positive and blow away the part of it that is negative. Exactly, right? Like that is pretty much what we're talking about here. That's so interesting. The message here is that you are urged to look at your life as a whole and also at sections of your present pathway. This card is telling you that you might be placing blame where it should not go. There are times when we all should turn the mirror to view our own reflection. Hallelujah. Perhaps there are areas in your life where things keep going wrong. This card is asking for understanding. Always look at your own shortcomings first, meeting those challenges with positive energy and strength. This will set you free to stand up and be responsible, and will also enable you to find happiness in something you will eventually realize as truth. Wow, I love when the cards just confirm the messages that already were coming up. Drawing this card indicates you could be suppressing your desire to express yourself freely, and you could be feeling very highly strung right now. This is a time to have faith, not self-doubt. With wisdom comes power. Yeah. All right, so have faith in yourself for sure, and really trust in your own magic, in your own intuition. And once again, I really love how the colors are reflected in both of the cards. So cool. All right, Cappies, that's what I've got for you. Hope that was helpful. Have a great week. Okay, I'm going to grab this card down here. Okay. Hi, Lola. Lola is joining us. All right. You want to say hi, Lola? No, I guess she's distracted. You want to say hi? I guess your presence is just greeting enough. Okay, Aquarius. What messages do we have for Aquarius? Starting with animal message. She's still with us. She's just not in the frame. What? My leg is just... Okay, Aquarius, are you itching to do something? Because I just got a little itch on my leg. What animal has a message for Aquarius this week? And she's gone. Ooh, got blackjack. Blackjack. Are you going to play blackjack this week? Black Jaguar, old soul. Walk through life with confidence and grace. You have power from beyond the world. Focus on what you really want. You can create your dreams. You know, I've decided to do this down here because I felt like the camera was better, and now I'm just kind of just seems kind of fuzzy. I've cleaned it. I don't know, maybe it's just the light. Apologies for the less than high quality. camera here. Okay, let's see. Well, I guess this is the one I'm grabbing, so let's go for this one. All right, Aquarius. What messages do we have? What other messages do we have for Aquarius? Princess of Swords, which is the Page of Swords. The Hanged Man. Okay, you've got 4. 5 of Swords and the Death card. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Princess of Cups, which is the Page of Cups. All right, so what I'm getting here is with the Page of Swords, and the Hanged Man, information is coming in that is helping you or going to help you shift your perspective on something. And it's a needed shift in your perspective. I'm getting a little throat tickle. So I'm wondering if you've got a little kind of block in your throat chakra, that you're having a hard time struggling to say something to somebody, or get something out, speak, have a voice about something, speak your truth about something. Next, we have the 5 of Swords. And so to me, this could actually be speaking to what it is that requires a perspective shift. The 5 of Swords can speak to kind of an all or nothing, like wanting to win at all costs mentality. But oftentimes the way I see the 5 of Swords is that it's the kinds of thoughts that really, I think it's interesting here, kind of impede our vision, right? It's the kinds of thoughts that can change how we see things in a way that they can be thoughts that are negative, that are limiting, that are kind of connected to old stories, old programming, thoughts that really get in our way, right? And that don't help, I keep going back to this eye analogy of like, they kind of prevent us from seeing the truth, right? They prevent us from seeing clearly who we are really, and what is ours and what is not ours, right? So there's something coming in, or perhaps you're being called to seek information if no information is coming in, to really, and you're being encouraged to take a pause, to really shift your perspective. And what I'm getting is to really see how you may be doing this, how to really notice your thoughts, to be very aware of the kinds of thoughts that are going through your mind, and to what extent they are clouding your vision and not allowing you to see clearly the beauty of who you are, right? And with the Death card here, there's an ending and a beginning, right? So I think what is, if you take up the call here to either seek out some information or tune in to the information coming from your mind, that's going to allow you to have a new perspective on how you see yourself really, and how you, and kind of allowing you to see the truth of yourself, which is beautiful, and love yourself, and see how you might have any thoughts that are actually in opposition to this truth, because it's time to really release that kind of thinking, those old stories, that old programming, those limiting beliefs, any kind of fear-based thinking. It's really time for that to end, so that you can really operate from a new perspective, and so you can really see yourself as you really are. And with the Page of Cups here, it's you know, it will enable you to really believe in yourself and to trust yourself and to believe that anything is possible and to love yourself. Yeah, and to have that confidence and that grace that is called for here. Yeah, to believe that you can create your dreams, Aquarius. That you can get beyond any kind of limitation, because generally speaking, those limitations come from ourselves. And so just really taking time out to see how that may be happening in your mind and how you can shift away from that kind of thinking and release any of the kinds of thoughts that get in your way, that get in the way of believing in yourself and knowing your true power. Okay, let's see what number we have. Whoa! Okay, well, we have 5, which is interesting. The reason I just said is because it made me think that, you know, this process may not be neat and clean and tidy, right? I just dropped half the deck on the floor as I was trying to get your card out. But ultimately, it's leading to expansion, right? The 5 speak to change, and change is hard. I mean, change is rarely just like smooth and easy and simple, right? Change can come with challenges and comes through challenges oftentimes, right? But ultimately it serves to contribute to our expansion and growth. So let's read about the 5, and then I'll grab all the cards that fell on the floor. And I almost opened right to it here, Aquarius. Okay. Drawing this card indicates that this is a time for you to be versatile, generous, and to expand your thinking. Also, do your best to honor a promise you might have made and forgotten. This is also a card of change. Within your associations or close relationships, you need some freedom, mentally and physically. Yeah, that's that Hangman, kind of taking time out. Let me reread that. Within your associations or close relationships, you need some freedom, mentally and physically, to progress. Be mindful of your words when explaining to someone about needing some freedom, a bit of time to yourself. Perhaps there are a few issues you'd like to consider that need clear thinking. Exactly. Wow. That's making me think of these two together, really. Right? You're seeking new information by taking time out, getting a new perspective. All life progresses through change and new ideas. By letting go of the old, the new can be realized. If you enjoy working within the public arena, this could be your opportunity to take the step forward. That's clear, getting that stuff out of the way of your throat chakra that is giving you a voice. That's interesting. You do not necessarily have to be a rolling stone gathering no moss, but do not be a procrastinator either. This number vibrates to pink, expressing power, life, and love. Wear pink in its various shades, either in a garment or a scarf, tie, or a pocket handkerchief when you need some help during this time. I don't know how many people wear pocket handkerchiefs, but a number of cards have been encouraging that. It's pretty funny. All right, Aquarius, I hope that was helpful. Have a great week. Okay, let me grab these cards. Excuse me. Okay, let's see here. Pisces. How you doing, Pisces? Let's see what messages we've got for Pisces. What animal has a message for Pisces this week? That one wanted, nope, not quite. Almost, but then it was stuck. What animal has a message for Pisces? Okay, there we go. All right, we've got the puffin partnership. Confirmation meow from Lola. Accept yourself and your colorful personality. Feel confident about being you. You are a joy bringer. Let your community nourish and protect you. Ask for help. Teamwork will give you the best results. Are you coming up here, Lola? I just heard no pain, no gain. Even though I don't really believe in that. But okay, you want to come up? Oi, chihuahuas. It's kind of tricky here. There we go. Lola is joining us here. She wanted to say hi. All right, let's see what tarot messages we have for our Pisces. Thank you, Lola. We've got the Fool, new beginning. Strength. Another major arcana. Two keep wanting to come out, but I'm feeling just one. There we go. And the Eight of Pentacles with the Seven of Cups at the bottom of the deck. All right. The Fool has come out for quite a few of us. So I'm going to have a little drink because I keep getting a tickle in my throat, which there may be a few people. There are a few signs where I've gotten just a little tickle in my throat. You're one of them, Pisces. So there may be something going on with your throat chakra where you're not feeling, where you're feeling some kind of block in being able to have a voice, to speak your truth, to articulate something or communicate something to someone. So that's just a little side message. All right, we've got the Fool here, which is speaking to a new beginning. And taking a leap of faith on yourself and jumping into this new beginning, choosing to start anew here. And you've got the Strength card supporting you in this new beginning. The Strength card is all about self-awareness and knowing thyself, right? It's about mastering the art of personal development, really. Mastering the art of self and, knowing that you've got what it takes, trusting in yourself, trusting in your strength, and also just kind of recognizing your limitations as well, right? So it's kind of recognizing, acknowledging all parts of yourself and finding strength within that. Right, seeing how strong you really are. And you could be physically strong as well, but this is more about like who you are as a person. And that is supporting you in this new beginning, right? This self-awareness is really supporting you having a positive start to this new beginning. And you've got the Eight of Pentacles here, which speaks to kind of devoting yourself to something that you want to build, that you want to create, that you want to develop, and really committing to that, committing to the work that is needed to actually achieving what it is that you want to achieve, right? So like I said, that requires commitment, it requires devotion, it requires discipline, it requires your time and your energy in a consistent way. So you also have the Seven of Cups here. So this to me speaks to, see Lola in the background, this to me speaks to possible distractions that could be coming up, maybe a little bit of confusion, maybe you have some different options presented to you, or you're imagining kind of multiple options, or you're having multiple ideas, like, well, I could do this, or I could do this, or I could do that. And so when you're in a state of confusion like this, or when anything is resulting in kind of like, I don't know, I could do this, or I could do that, or I could do the other thing, it's not really a time to choose yet, okay? So, so I would recommend waiting for clarity, in terms of, like, whatever you feel clear about and what you want to commit to, go for it and put the work in. But when you're feeling unclear, when you're feeling confused by too many choices, you want to pause. And I would say kind of go inward and kind of tap into your intuition, so that, and you also might want to talk to people and collaborate, tap into your community, to kind of help you gain some clarity on what it is, on what direction you want to move in if it's not clear. This card can also be speaking to, maybe before, like as you're starting this new beginning, to spend some time imagining and dreaming and kind of feeling into what it is that you want to experience, as a way to inform what you want to commit to. So take what resonates, whichever of those, maybe both of them, maybe they resonate for different parts of your life, but see what resonates for you. Okay, let's see what number we have for Pisces here. All right, we've got number 20. Ascended Master, Lady Mary. Interesting. Interesting that it's 20 and that a 20 breaks down to a 2. And 2 is definitely speaks to like a partnership, right? Which we have here in our puffin card. Okay, let's see what it says. I feel like I almost opened right to it, but now I'm resorting to looking at there it is. Table of contents, because these are not in numerical order. All right. Gentle energy. In drawing this card, you have the influence of Lady Mary around you at this time, and she will be strongly felt if you are seeking to express yourself in any manner. Interesting about the throat chakra there. If disharmony is around you at the moment, you might feel gentle energy within you as you take the role of the diplomat. Lady Mary also seeks to encourage adaptability and cooperation in other areas of your life. I love that it's right in tune with the puffin card. If you fear criticism, you might hold back from speaking or acting on your own truth. Wow. But show the positive moon side of Lady Mary and go forward. She is leading you to the altar of your own heart and your own divinity. Talk to Lady Mary and tell her your feelings of happiness, sadness, or despair. Her energy is so gentle that when you feel its warmth surrounding you, it sometimes brings tears. Master Lady Mary is also known as Queen of the Angels. Wow, what a powerful message here. Yeah, so I'm being reminded too of this Fool, right? That we're starting on in a new chapter, a new beginning, always requires taking a risk and taking a leap of faith on yourself. So, and acting on your own truth, right? So just kind of confirming that message there for you, Pisces. All right, that's what I have for you. I hope that was helpful. Have a great week. There's that throat again. Lordy. Aries. How are you doing, Aries? Let's see what messages we've got for you this week. starting with an animal message. What animal has a message for Aries this week, please? Ooh, horse, freedom. Your heart is pure and free. A greater purpose calls you. You have unlimited reserves of stamina and strength. You follow the winds of change and accomplish your dreams. What a beautiful card. I love horse cards. I mean, I love horses. I wasn't a horse person growing up in terms of like I didn't ride horses all the time. But I do have a real fascination and admiration and love for horses and the freedom that they represent. So, let's see what other messages we have for you, Aries. We've got Judgment. We've got the Six of Pentacles, and we've got the Magician, and we also have a fourth one. Smack it down. And that's the Prince of Wands, okay, which is the Knight of Wands. And we have the Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. All right, well, right away, you know, this felt very in keeping with the horse, right? A greater purpose calls you, right? The Judgment card is calling you to rise up, to be even more of who you are, right? To be a new and improved you, a new and improved version of you. That's not to say that there's anything wrong with you, right? It's only to say that you're being called to embrace change, growth, evolution, and to let go of things that aren't serving you anymore so that you can rise up and become even more of your authentic self. Rise up to a greater purpose here. And this is going to bring you to a space of more equanimity, more balance, more equal give and take. So by becoming even more of who you are and rising to the call to really become more of your authentic self, it's going to create more balance in your life. It's going to put you in situations where you feel reciprocity, equanimity, where people are generous with you, and thus you feel generous with others. And the Magician here is reminding you, you can see the first thing I'm drawn to is how they're pointing the wand towards the infinity symbol, speaking to the infinite possibilities that are before you. And the Magician reminds you that you have access to all of the resources that you need to really make your dreams come true, to create whatever it is that you want in your life, to cultivate whatever abundance or, you know, whatever it is whatever magic you want to create in your life, you have access to all of the necessary resources to do so. So the Magician is a reminder. And you're being, in keeping with being your authentic self, or more of your authentic self. The Knight of Wands definitely is somebody who marches to the beat of their own drum, right? They follow their passions with vigor. So you are being encouraged to really go for what excites you. Go for what you're feeling pulled towards, for what is igniting you, what is fueling you. The one thing you want to be aware of as you're, going for it is to just go for what you want and really, put energy towards that which ignites and makes you excited, but also don't be too impulsive and don't be too fiery, right? You want to kind of maintain some balance here, right? And so, yeah, just also kind of the Knight of Wands can speak to kind of being a little too fiery or a little too temperamental. So just be aware of that and just kind of watch for that, so that you don't burn yourself out, so you don't burn others on your path, right? Just a little cautionary message there. And you know, I've mentioned this to somebody else, and and it's a message worth repeating, to really love yourself through this process, right? To start with love for yourself, to focus on filling your cup, taking care of yourself, and whatever that means for you. And also, like, really recognizing your self-worth, recognizing how valuable you are. And all of this is going to really enable you to rise to the call, to be your true, authentic, to be even more of your authentic self, which is going to lead to feeling free, right? Feeling that sense of freedom, right? When our heart is pure and free, that's really like when we're really in our authentic selves, you know? Okay, what number do we have for Aries this week? 27, Archangel Raphael. Ooh, I think that's all about your heart chakra, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a 9, speaking to the end of a cycle here. Let's read what it says. Okay. Lots of green in this card, which is interesting. The other cards have kind of reflected the colors of the animal card, but this one is different. There's a contrast here, which is interesting. Okay, the healer. Archangel Raphael assists with healing humans and animals. He heals the body, mind, and spirit. Drawing this card reminds you that if someone you know or a beloved pet needs healing, to call on this archangel for assistance. You are also lovingly reminded that these special enlightened beings cannot interfere with free will. Therefore, any decision to accept or refuse help is up to you. Archangel Raphael is also known as the patron of travelers. So if it is your wish, call on this wonderful archangel anytime you are traveling. Archangel Raphael is kind and loving, and you will know he's around when you feel or see flashes or sparkles of beautiful green light. Call on this enlightened being when you feel the need. Yeah, so what I'm getting from this is really, you know, if you're feeling that you need help getting into this space of self-love and filling your cup and recognizing your worth, you may want to call on Archangel Raphael here. All right, that's what I've got for you, Aries. I hope that was helpful, and I hope you have a great week. Taurus, what messages do we have for our Taur babes? Just noticing Lola in the corner of the frame there. She's just hanging out, taking in the sights and sounds in here and outside. Got lots of birdies out there, squirrels. Maybe that's something you want to tune into, Taurus. Get out into nature, or kind of take in the nature around you, or find a place where you can take in some nature, some birds, some squirrels perhaps. All right, what animal has a message for Taurus this week? We've got elk, nobility. Celebrate your accomplishments with humility. I don't know why I was acting like that was That wasn't the end of the sentence. That was the end of the sentence. Celebrate your accomplishments with humility. You are crowned with success. Powerful forces guide you. Your ability to conquer challenges is limitless. Okay, for some reason, that was a very weird way to read this card. So I don't know if there's some message there about looking closely at the details of something so that you're reading it correctly. Let's see. What do we have for our Taurus friends here this week? What messages from the tarot? We've got the Fool. I'm forgetting who else got the Fool. Oh, is that too many? No, we'll take it. We've got, oh, that's interesting. The Hanged One, the Page of Wands, and the Knight of Swords. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Cups. This feels like a similar message, or kind of maybe it's a melding of some of the other messages here. All right, so the Elk is talking about celebrating your accomplishments, right? That you've been successful and that you're being guided, and that you have an ability to conquer challenges, right? And here we have this new beginning, right? So it seems as if you've accomplished something, and so there's that which portends some kind of ending to some chapter or phase or endeavor, and that you are embarking on a new beginning. And the Fool, you know, is all about taking a leap of faith on yourself. Any new beginning requires that we take some kind of a risk. You may need to take some time out before you embark on this new beginning. With the Hanged One here, you know, the Hanged One is all about kind of taking a break, taking a time out so that you can pause and kind of quiet things down so that you can actually receive some new insights which offer a new perspective or a shift in perspective. So it seems like you are being called to well, maybe you're already in this place of shifting your perspective that is informing this new beginning that you are embarking on. And this new beginning, which is also portended, I don't know why I keep saying that word. I'm like in love with that word right now, portend, by this Page of Wands. All the pages are speak to being at the beginning of something new, right? And so the Page of Wands is at the beginning of something that is inspiring, right? They're holding that Ace of Wands, that gift of inspiration, and they're moving in the direction of what excites them, of what inspires them. The only thing to be wary of with the Page of Wands, and perhaps this is why you need to pause and kind of take some time to reflect in order to be able to move towards something that you feel like you can actually accomplish, right? So sometimes the Page of Wands has a lot of different ideas, and that's great, right? Sometimes it's kind of like that brainstorming session, right? It's like that gets the ideas flowing, right? And so it's important when you're in this time of kind of generating new ideas to really reflect on, go inward and reflect in order to kind of tap into the one that's really going to be the right direction for you at this point in time, right? the right beginning, something that you can actually complete, right, or achieve, or that is going to lead you in the direction that you want to be going. So what you want to avoid is, while the Knight of Swords speaks to this determination and this, like, I want to move towards this goal now, quickly, I want to get there now, right? Like, there's value in that motivation, but you also want to be careful not to be too impulsive, not to be too rash, not to be impatient. And also you want to kind of watch your words so that you're not being too sharp or too cold. You don't want to get somewhere at all costs, you know what I mean? So I feel like the Knight of Swords, while it could be speaking to like this inspiration, this motivation, because the Knight of Swords is the fastest knight in the deck, you're really being called here to have some patience, to take some time out to reflect. So, you're really being encouraged to follow your passion, but to kind of reflect on what it is that really speaks to your heart, right? So the Knight of Cups here is encouraging you to get into your heart space so that you are operating from your heart, so that you are allowing your heart to lead you in addition to your passions, right? Those things work together. All right, let's see what number we have for you, Taurus. Yeah, I'm just being drawn to the last line of the elk. Your ability to conquer challenges is limitless. And I feel like this Knight of Swords is like, yeah, I gotta conquer that. I'm going for it. So that, it's really about kind of creating balance between these different energies so that you have the best chances of moving in the direction you want to be moving in, and yeah, really following your heart. Taking a calculated risk, I'm hearing. All right. This one. All right. Got number 53, which is an 8, which is movement. Cherry blossoms. Oh, and this is got a lot of butterflies in it, so speaking to that time of change, right? Endings and beginnings, transformation. Let's read what it has to say. This is an abundance card. Alrighty. Joy. Cherry blossoms are symbolic of renewal and the delicate nature of life. They suggest life, joy, and happiness. And while they are in bloom, there is celebration beneath the cherry blossom trees. This is the Japanese custom of hanami, which means watching blossoms. Drawing this card suggests that depending on your positive or negative beliefs and attitudes, there could either be good fortune in your future or just the opposite. Do your utmost not to give in to thoughts that could bring you down. There is the possibility that you can earn money in the corporate world. Also, it is suggested that you are most likely good at dealing with money. Perhaps it is with other people's money, such as being a banker or financial advisor. If you deal with your own money, remain positive and have no fear of failure, and you will have success. Be aware that there is much power in having faith in yourself. Otherwise, you will fail because of self-sabotage. So think carefully, which road would you rather choose? Isn't that interesting, right? You got to take the time out in order to choose the road that's based on love, not fear. To gain help if you need it, wear the colors of the cherry blossoms, pink shades or opal. All right, Taurus. Sorry, I was just rereading the elk messages, right? Just a reminder to celebrate your accomplishments with humility. You're crowned with success. Powerful forces guide you, and your ability to conquer challenges is limitless. You got this, Taurus. You got this. Trust yourself. All right, that's what I've got for you. I hope that was helpful, and I hope you have a great week. Mix those up a little bit. Okay, Gemini. Let's see what animals have a message, or what animal has a message for Gemini today or this week. Today and this week. This one. Ooh, you got the horse too. I think Aries got that, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I could be wrong. I can't remember from one to the next. Horse freedom. I don't know why I read it that way. Horse freedom. Maybe it would behoove you to ride a horse this week. Gemini, excuse me. Yeah, I don't know if you're feeling a little confused this week, because that's just what I seem to be reflecting here at the start of this reading. And like I said, maybe it would be fun to ride a horse if you could do that this week. And it could give you that sense of freedom. You could actually feel that freedom of riding a horse. Your heart is pure and free. A greater purpose calls you. You have unlimited reserves of stamina and strength. You follow the winds of change and accomplish your dreams. I love that card. Okay, let's see what the tarot has for our Geminis. Got the Knight of Swords. Which has come out in other decks for couple different signs. The Seven of Cups, the Star. It says the stars in this deck. Oh, well, yeah. This is the one that wanted to be at the bottom. And the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, great. All right, well, it's very interesting, this version of the Knight of Swords, because usually the Knight of Swords is depicted as a knight on a horse, and the Knight of Swords is the fastest knight in the deck, and they're often just like going at warp speed. The horse is kind of distressed because they're going a little too fast for, beyond the horse's comfort. Yeah, and it's a little bit chaotic, frenetic. What I'm getting from this particular Knight of Swords, or this version, is kind of like that same kind of like, I gotta get this done, I gotta get this done, but maybe going so fast that you're making a lot of mistakes and having to keep starting over. So I think there's a little cautionary message here to not be too impulsive. Try to slow down a little bit, have some patience with yourself and with whatever process you're going through or whatever situation you're dealing with, so that you are avoiding making mistakes out of haste, right? So don't, try to avoid being hasty, trying to get things done too quickly, because it actually might take you longer if you're rushing through something. And what you might be engaged in is actually making some kind of choice, right? So you don't want to be hasty with your decision-making process. If things are confusing, if things aren't clear, then that's not really the right time to be making a choice, if possible, right? You want to kind of wait for some clarity. You want to, also what I'm hearing is kind of take the time you need to kind of spend time in your imagination, right? In that what if, what about this? What about that? How do I feel about this? What would this feel like, right? Kind of feel through different options as a means for gaining some clarity, right? So spend time, sorry for that siren in the background. Maybe that's confirmation, right? There's no need to rush here. It's not an emergency situation, is what I'm hearing, right? Even though it might feel like it. So maybe you feel like you're being pushed to rush, to make a decision, to make a choice. But oftentimes that comes from a place of fear, right? So you want to kind of get into this horse mentality where you're feeling your freedom, you're feeling that you have unlimited reserves, of stamina and strength, that you can take the time that you need right now to make the choice that's right for you. Or you can take the time that you need to spend some time dreaming, imagining, daydreaming, right? Feeling into things. And kind of tapping into that inner child and the dreams that you had as a child, right? Because that actually may bring light to the situation and bring clarity to the situation. Are there things that you've always dreamed of becoming or doing or having? And, just spending some time in that, that playfulness, right? In that imaginative, playful state of mind, and not pushing or efforting to move yourself beyond where you are right now. We also have the Knight of Pentacles here, who is really reiterating the message of patience, of doing things step by step, of the need to kind of plant seeds and then tend to those seeds, and really care for those seeds one step at a time, one day at a time, working also in alignment with the seasons, in alignment with the ways of nature, you know what I mean? So that you can set yourself up for success. Yeah, so again, I'm being drawn back to the horse. And while you want to kind of tap into this sense of freedom, you also want to take your time, right? Don't get carried away by, don't feel like you have to move at the speed of a horse right away. Yeah, and I keep being drawn to this last sentence. You follow the winds of change and accomplish your dreams. So it's like a double message. Like, yes, follow the winds of change and accomplish your dreams, but don't just follow any whim, at breakneck speed, right? You want to tap into that unlimited reserves of stamina and strength that you have that enable you to kind of take your time. Horses don't always run, right? They have to take time out as well to rebuild their stamina and reserves. Ooh, we've got number 1. I always want to say numero uno, individuality. Yeah, I'm hearing like, what's true to you? Let's see here. All right. You have drawn the card of action, which indicates individuality, leadership, and versatility. It is asking what in your life needs attending to at this time. It is urging you to think, to be your own person. It often indicates a new beginning. This is a time to have courage and a time to act, not to stand back. Show your versatility, go it alone with an idea. And I would say, once you're clear on that idea, knowledge and understanding are the key words when endeavoring to gain ground. In this regard, there may be someone in the family or perhaps a friend who is looking to you for some type of guidance or plan. It is to your advantage that you make yourself available and show your willingness to help. This number vibrates to the color flame. The color flame. Wow. Whenever you need a little help, try wearing the color flame in a garment or scarf, or perhaps a tie or pocket handkerchief. I just love how they keep encouraging you to wear it in a pocket handkerchief. I'm guessing that flame is a shade of red. Well, that's interesting, right? You know, it's like finding that balance between action and patience, and doing your due diligence, taking the time that you need, right? Finding that right direction to move in that's true to you before you really spring forward here. Even though this said it's a time to act. I think it's a time to act when you know it's a time to act, and not acting before you really know, or you feel that it's right. Okay, that's what I've got for you, Taurus. Hope that was helpful. Have a fabulous week. Oh no, Taurus. What am I saying? That was for Gemini. I'm sorry, Gemini. That was for Gemini. Why am I saying Taurus? Maybe Gemini, maybe you want to be watching the Taurus reading as well. Maybe there's another message for you in the Taurus reading. And I apologize, Gemini, for mixing that up. So that's what I have for you, Gemini. Hope you have a fabulous week. All right, now we are on to Cancer. How are you doing, Cancer? Let's see what animal has a message for you this week. Nope, not quite. Ooh. Cancer, you got dragon, supernatural. You are the ancient wise sage. You can shapeshift at will. Mastery is your destiny. Rise with dignity. Okay, and I'm just noticing the moon. It's a crescent moon, which I guess that's what we have right now. We also are moving towards a new moon, I believe this Friday? No, Saturday. Saturday, the 16th. So tuning into the moon, and maybe even doing some kind of ritual for the new moon might be helpful for you this week, Cancer. Let's do these. Let's see what tarot messages we have for you this week. We've got the Four of Swords. The King of Swords. The Six of Cups. And the Prince of Cups at the bottom of the deck. All right, the Four of Swords. That's interesting. I am noticing the similarities and differences between the Four of Swords and the Eight of Swords in this deck, because I pulled the Eight of Swords earlier. And I'm just noticing how similarly the individual is kind of floating off the ground, but they are free floating, right? So they're levitating, which means they're in a place of, internal meditation and peace, and they are not attached to any of the swords around them. The swords are there more as protection of their space, of their energy, of their peace. There's also 4, are they doves? They're dark in the picture, but I'm guessing they're doves, because the 4 swords signifies peace, healing, rest, time out, meditation. And we also have the sun there in the background. So this is like getting into this space of peace and healing and meditation is a happy place. It's going to be a happy place for you this week, Cancer. So you're really being encouraged to go inward and find opportunities to meditate, to rest, to heal anything that needs to heal, and to just find peace within yourself. You also have the King of Swords here. So I was looking at the dragon to see kind of what other messages confirm or deny. No, I don't think they deny. But, oh, and that's interesting because it says to rise with dignity, right? And she is levitating. It's certainly with dignity there. Okay. And then you've got the King of Swords here. And the King of Swords, sometimes you can see the King of Swords depicted on a mountaintop, because the King of Swords has a broad vantage point on the situation, on life, on truth. They really can see the big picture of any situation. So you're being advised to see the truth by looking at the big picture, right? Stepping out so that you can get kind of a broader view of things, a broader vantage point. The King of Swords also is the master of the suit of swords. So they have mastered the skills of communication, sharing information. They have mastered, they are master of their mind, right? So this is really, by getting into that 4 of Swords, that space of peace, that space of meditation, that space of calm and rest and healing, you can tap into your communications, your strengths within communication, and tap into a mindset that is going to help you navigate whatever situation you're facing this week, or whether it's something where you're needing to be strategic and tactical and kind of think through how to move through something, or how to complete something, or accomplish something, how to communicate something, how to share information, right? This week you have these are strengths that you are going to exhibit this week. These are strengths that you can tap into this week, this strength, especially if you take time out to meditate, to rest, to heal whatever needs healing, if that's pertinent to you. And speaking of healing, right, this could speak to things from childhood that may need to be healed, processed. This card can also speak to nostalgia and kind of reflecting on things from your childhood, things from your past that bring you joy, that give you a sense of happiness and love, and things that can contribute also to your evolution, to your transformation. I'm just noticing all the butterflies on this card. So yeah, really, allowing yourself to tap into that childlike energy, that playfulness, that joy, that happiness, and really get into your heart space and go with the flow of what brings you joy, of where your imagination takes you, because that is something that can really help you with, getting you to this destiny that you're aiming for. You're also being encouraged here with the Prince of Cups to follow your heart, to really get into your heart space and allow your heart to lead you, right? And sometimes that involves kind of getting, into our like the playfulness and the childlike state of that state of imagination and freedom that we had as children, right? That's only going to kind of help balance out or provide a balanced framework here. I don't know, that's just coming to mind here. So like as you're using your skills and your strengths within the realm of swords, right? Your mind, your communication, the sharing of information, the strategic planning, the, decision making, right? You want to bring a playfulness, bring some imagination, bring your heart to this process. And also spending that time, to rest, meditate, whatnot, that's also gonna, that can help you tap into that heart space. All right, let's see what number we've got for you, Cancer. Number 4, Justice. 4s also speak to stability. It's interesting, there was another card that had, it wasn't a Pisces card either, but it had the 2 fish, kind of like the Pisces. So that's making me think of, getting into that space of imagination, into your emotional, heart space. Just kind of reiterating that message. Let's see what the book says. The square symbolizes the product of equals and signifies justice. This card indicates that eventually our dreams must have concrete form if they are to be realized. Yeah, it's kind of the balance of the logical, rational mind and the imaginative mind and the heart space. I love it. In drawing this card, you are advised to be diligent and patient at this time because circumstances indicate that plans and dreams cannot be hurried. Perhaps there is more work to be done, or maybe someone needs your practical help right now. Have you given thought to stepping outside the box with your plans or dreams? This might be the time to do that. Also, this is not a time to be careless, as this could bring adverse results. Think carefully, go through the process systematically. Yeah, that balance of the King of Swords, but also like the Knight of Cups and the Six of Cups. To give you some variation, it would be a positive objective. To give you some variation, it would be a positive objective to turn your attention to someone who needs a friend right now. Yeah, get into that heart space. If you're working hard in a positive way, you will have no need to feel dissatisfied. This number vibrates to the colors green and blue. To attract some help when you need it, try wearing green or blue. Green expresses through the intellect, while blue seeks to express spiritual light. I love it. The other thing that I didn't mention with the King of Swords is that he also is very attuned to spiritual guidance. Oh, and I love that there's green and blues here in the Dragon Supernatural. All right. So just a reminder to tap into your inner wisdom. Okay, Cancer, that's what I've got for you. Hope that was helpful. Have a great week. Whoop. Last but not least, we have our Leos. What messages do we have for Leos this week? Okay. If this comes out again, it's the same card, so I don't know. If it comes out again, we'll know it's the right card, but it just felt like it was kind of an accident. But then, yeah, that's the right card for you. Okay, Leos, we've got, the dragon might be a side message for you, so let's say that. Your animal message, your main one, is frog, prosperity. Let go of the past and embrace change. Opportunities are close at hand. Hop into the new day with joy. Abundance and good fortune await you. So cute. I love at night here when it's warm, which it often is. There's a little lagoon behind me, and the frogs just go nuts at night. It's like a cacophony of sounds. Sorry, I see somebody, but I can't quite see. I'm not sure what's going on out there. Anyway, so you might be distracted this week, Leo. I don't know. The other thing, that talks about letting go of the past and embracing change. I always think, the frog always reminds me to clear out the clutter. So that could be literally, you might want to do some spring cleaning and kind of get rid of some stuff that you don't need anymore. But it also means like emotional and mental clutter as well. So, and that would speak more to kind of letting go of the past and embracing change. Let's see what tarot messages we have for you, Leo. Whenever I say Leo, I think about my cat because that's his name. But he's not a Leo. He is a Leo, but he's not a Leo. He's either an Aries or a Taurus. All right, we're starting with the Two of Cups. The Page of Pentacles and the Devil, El Diablo, along with the Seven of Wands. Okay, Leo. So the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups can speak to partnership and love and symbiotic love, where you really see each other and connect with each other from your heart, and where it's just that really healthy, positive love. So that could speak to some partnership that you're engaged in, some relationship that you have, and it can be a lover, it can be a spouse, it can be a family member, it can be a friend. Love, this kind of symbiotic love and partnership and connection can happen in a lot of different ways. It can also reflect that kind of relationship with yourself, a deep connection with yourself, an acceptance of all parts of yourself, right? A nice balance of masculine and feminine, and I mean divine masculine and feminine energies within yourself. A love for yourself that is cause for celebration, okay? And really, we can see here that whatever love this reflects in your life, it is a cause for celebration. You also have the Page of Pentacles here, which is this particular page, or this particular version of the page, speaks to definitely a sense of patience and really learning from observing, right? So taking the time to observe and learn, and in particular, learn the ways of the world around you, learn the ways of nature, right? And to take the time to observe and learn from nature in order to be able to apply those lessons to your life. It can also speak to embarking on some kind of new educational or training endeavor. But learning is key from this. And really learning and aligning with the cycles of nature, right? Learning from the cycles of nature and aligning with those cycles so that you have the best chance for success. And again, I mentioned patience. The Devil speaks to, the first word that comes to mind is indulgence, and the susceptibility to overindulgence. So it also speaks to attachments and kind of unhealthy attachments to things that aren't, when we say like attachments to things that aren't really benefiting you or healthy for you or serving you. So the devil comes up when we have an opportunity to detach, right, from anything that isn't really serving us, right? Detaching from anything that may be unhealthy, that may be toxic, that may be getting in our way. So, when thinking about these three cards together, it's really important as you're starting on some new path here that requires learning and training and kind of being in beginner mind, being in student mode. It's really important to tap into the love in your life, to tap into love for yourself, right? And accepting yourself, having balance within yourself of both receptivity and proactivity, the divine masculine and the divine feminine, tapping into support of those that you love, so that you can detach from what's not serving you and really move forward in a productive and healthy manner, right? Kind of leaving behind and detaching from things that aren't serving you, that aren't good for you, that might be getting in your way, relying on the support of those you love, and relying on yourself and kind of love for yourself and tapping into love for yourself, having that balanced perspective, having that balanced approach of proactivity and receptivity, so that you can move forward one step at a time on this new path that you're starting here. And it's really important to stand up for what you believe, to really hold true to what you believe in and what you know to be true. And this card kind of speaks to like a kind of fake it till you make it, right? Because she is not feeling particularly confident in, like giving this presentation, right? Like there's kind of all these like energy like around her, but she's nonetheless just faking it till she makes it, because she knows that what she's sharing is something valuable and important. She knows that what these results are valuable. Like she knows she has something of value to offer. And so even though she might be feeling nervous, or she might be feeling put on the spot, or she might be feeling like there might be some pushback in this audience that she's presenting to, she's just standing strong in herself because she knows that what she has to share is valuable. She knows she has something of value to offer. So it's important for you to know that you have something of value to offer. If need be, if you need to like share something or give a presentation or be around people that might be kind of naysayers or might be negative or might be questioning you, that you've got this. It's also important to kind of go into any situation like this, or before you go into any situation like this, to kind of take time out to kind of protect yourself energetically and kind of imagine kind of a protective bubble around your energy so that it can't be infiltrated by any negativity or any naysayers. Because that's the kind of thing that, naysayers or negativity could kind of feed into these, negative thoughts if this is something that you need to detach from. So it's really important to trust yourself, to love yourself, to tap into the support of your loved ones. That could be pets even, whoever's, if it could also be spiritual support, but also to really tap into your own self-love as part of this building of resilience. If you're kind of going to be dealing with anybody who might be trying to poke a hole in anything that you're saying. Trust yourself, know that you've got this, okay? Know that abundance and good fortune await you. And let go of anything, especially any negative mindsets that might be holding you back or might make you question yourself. I also love that he's in kind of a meditative state, right? Get out, you might want to get out into nature And you might find some peace in nature that will kind of help also develop that resiliency to any kind of external garbage. All right, let's see what number we have for Leos this week. Number 36, a 9. And it says Archangel Zadkiel? I've never heard of that one. I don't really use this deck very much, so Zadkiel? I think that's a K. Archangel Zadkiel. All right, well, let's learn about Archangel Zadkiel together. 39 is breaks down to a 39. 39 breaks down to a 12, which is a 3, which means you've got support. So that's a little side message. But 36 breaks down to a 9, which indicates the end of a cycle, the end of a chapter, the end of a phase. All right, where are we? Okay, Archangel cards. Zadkiel, yep. All right, let's see. Forgiveness. Interesting. Yeah, and the first thing that comes to mind is forgiving yourself. Starting with yourself here. Archangel Zadkiel provides positive energies, replacing negative energies with compassion and faith. Yeah. In drawing this card, you are lovingly asked to forgive yourself, right? That's what you like. Letting go of the past can also look like forgiving yourself, you know, forgiving yourself from anything from the past. That's really important. You are lovingly asked to forgive yourself and anyone who might need your forgiveness. Likewise, ask others to forgive you. Forgiveness is twofold. It wipes clean burdens we carry in our hearts and souls towards another person or situation, and those we have forgiven can likewise feel the burden lifted. This does not mean we condone what we see as bad behavior. It means that it is now time to hand the burden over to the great universe. Note that you can ask for forgiveness for yourself or help with forgiving others through prayer or meditation. Yeah, I mean, I just feel like this is definitely speaking to this. So this is what you might be needing to let go of, right? Is any kind of resentment or blame or whatever it is, right? Anger towards anybody, including yourself, right? And forgiving yourself and forgiving others as a means for freeing yourself, releasing yourself from the burden of whatever this is that you know, it doesn't mean that something didn't happen or, you know, that you're condoning somebody for doing something. It means that you're releasing it so that it's not burdening you anymore. Archangel Zadkiel helps heal relationships with ourselves and with others and hurtfulness within the heart. He also asks that you be mindful that some relationships cannot be mended. When you feel the need, call on this enlightened being. Archangel Zadkiel's energy colors are shades of lavender, violet, and indigo. Oh, and I love how there's kind of some lavender or indigo and violet in that frog. Okay. Beautiful. And I was just wondering what bird this is in here. I thought it was maybe a dove, but it doesn't. Oh, it's a goose. Is it a goose or is it an ibis? I can't quite tell. Yeah, it's a little hard to tell. Could be a goose. Anyway, that's what I've got for you, Leo. I hope that was helpful. Yeah, tap into that love, that self-love as a support in letting go, in forgiving yourself and anybody else who needs forgiveness. And I don't mean they need forgiveness, who you need to forgive so that you can free yourself of the burden of whatever resulted in the need to forgive in the first place. All right, Leo, I hope that was helpful and I hope you have a great week. All right, well, that is the end of our weekly reading for this week of May 11th. And I hope you found any readings that you tuned into to be helpful and provide you with some guidance that will help you just have a fantastic week. Thank you again for choosing to spend your time with me. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you. And I will be back later this week. Haven't decided what day. My midweek is a little tricky to get the check-in reading done. Ideally, I would like to do it on Wednesday, but I think it's probably going to be Thursday. We'll see. Wednesday or Thursday. Stay tuned for a check-in, an elemental check-in, and then we will have a weekend reading by sign, a little quick and dirty, depending on when I do the check-in. That will influence when I do the weekend, but Wednesday or Thursday for the check-in, Friday or Saturday for the weekend reading. If you hit that notification bell, then you should be notified when I post the next reading. So that's what I've got for you. Take good care, sending you lots of love, and until next time, bye.